The morning sun cast golden rays across Marcus Thompson's backyard garden, where rows of tomatoes, collard greens, and sweet peppers grew in perfect lines. At 72 years old, Marcus moved with careful precision, his weathered hands gently checking each plant for ripeness. His navy blue work shirt was already damp with morning dew and honest sweat. "Grandpa Marcus," called out 20-year-old Damon as he walked through the back gate, carrying a thermos of sweet tea and a warm smile. "Mama sent this for you." Marcus straightened up slowly, his face lighting up at the sight of his grandson. "But, you know just when to show up. These tomatoes are coming in real nice this year." The quiet suburban neighborhood of Willowbrook hummed with peaceful Saturday morning activity. Sprinklers whispered across green lawns, and the distant sound of children playing echoed from the nearby park. The peaceful morning shattered when a police cruiser pulled up to the curb with its engine growling. Officer Brad Reynolds stepped out, his hand already resting on his belt. His cold blue eyes scanned the property with suspicion. "Hey! You there in the garden?" Reynolds barked, his voice cutting through the morning air. "What are you doing on this property?" Marcus looked up from his tomato plants, confusion crossing his gentle face. "Good morning, officer. I live here. This is my home." Reynolds approached the fence with heavy footsteps. "Sure it is. I got a call about someone prowling around this neighborhood. You got identification proving you belong here?" "Sir, I have been living in this house for 28 years, Marcus replied calmly, though his heart began racing. "I can show you my identification if you need to see it." "Stop right there," Reynolds commanded sharply when Marcus reached toward his back pocket. "Keep your hands where I can see them." Just then, Damon rounded the corner of the house, his eyes widening at the scene before him. Whoa, what is going on here?" he called out, quickly pulling his phone from his pocket and starting to record. "Officer, this is my grandfather, and this is his house." "Step back, son," Damon said firmly but respectfully, positioning himself between Reynolds and Marcus. "Grandpa, you do not have to answer any more questions without knowing why you are being questioned." Reynolds turned his attention to Damon, his face reddening. "You need to mind your own business, kid." "This is my business," Damon replied steadily, his phone camera still rolling. "This man is my grandfather, and he has every right to be in his own yard." Across the street, neighbor Mrs. Chen opened her front door, drawn by the raised voices. Next door, Mr. Williams stepped onto his porch, his own phone in hand. Within minutes, 5 neighbors had gathered, all watching with concern and several recording the encounter. "Officer Reynolds," called out Mrs. Chen, "Marcus Thompson has been our neighbor for decades. He coaches Little League and organizes our block parties." Reynolds suddenly noticed all the phones pointed in his direction, his aggressive stance faltering slightly as he realized the situation had changed dramatically. Within hours, the videos had been shared with the police department and uploaded to social media. Captain Sarah Martinez reviewed Reynolds' body camera footage alongside the civilian recordings, her expression growing more serious with each passing minute. The evidence was undeniable, unprofessional conduct based on racial profiling. By Monday morning, the Willowbrook Community Association had organized a peaceful gathering at City Hall. Marcus stood at the podium, his voice steady and strong. "We are not asking for revenge. We are asking for accountability and change." 200 residents filled the council chambers, holding signs reading "Justice for Marcus and our neighbor deserves respect." Local news crews captured every moment as community leaders spoke about the need for better police training and oversight. Within the week, Officer Reynolds was suspended pending investigation. The police chief announced mandatory bias training for all officers and the formation of a community oversight committee. Marcus was invited to serve as the committee's first civilian chair. Channel 7 News featured the story as an example of how communities can create positive change through peaceful action. The reporter concluded, sometimes justice comes not through violence, but through neighbors standing together for what is right. 6 months later, the Willowbrook Police Department launched its new Community Partnership Program, with Marcus serving as the lead civilian coordinator. Every new officer now spent a day walking the neighborhood beats, meeting residents like Marcus face-to-face, learning names and stories instead of making assumptions. Change happens one conversation at a time, Marcus told the monthly community meeting, his voice filled with quiet strength. We have turned a moment of injustice into a foundation for justice. Damon had enrolled in law school that fall, inspired by watching his grandfather transform pain into purpose. I want to be part of the solution, Grandpa, he said while helping tend the garden that had become a symbol of resilience. Every Saturday morning, neighbors now gathered in Marcus's backyard for coffee and community planning. The tomato plants grew taller, the pepper plants grew stronger, and the bonds between neighbors grew deeper. Mrs. Chen brought homemade dumplings, Mr. Williams shared stories from his police reform research, and children played safely in the space where justice had bloomed alongside the vegetables. The garden had become more than a place where things grew. It had become proof that communities could heal and hope could take root anywhere.